certified coach, head coach of District High School, Mike Hagerty. Awesome guy, awesome to have him out here. Mike was in my job at Coach's Education in 92 to 95?
90 to 93.
99, yeah, I was way off. That's what it was. I get kicked in the head a lot, so thank you.
Oh man, hey guys, it's a pleasure to be here. Last year when I was coming out and ended up staying in my bed for about 3 days with kidney stones. So life sucked back then. So this is a great day. No matter what happens, it's going to be better than a year ago from right now. So great clinicians, man. It's so much fun to come out here, and I learn when I come out. Robin with his great job of footwork, Zadig with his top work. I mean, everything I've seen has just been, I've got more notes than probably most of you. So every time I come out, I definitely learn. The classrooms have been great. It's a real honor to come out and talk to you guys. I talked with Mike just a little bit just a second ago, and I'd like to try to mix in some things. How many of you guys in here also coach folk style? Okay, coach folk style. I figured that. Almost all of us, okay? And so we're getting ready for the folk style season, and what I want to try to be able to do is to take you guys through some movements and stuff that you can probably use and coordinate practices, build practices. To me, that's one of the most important things. I really want to be efficient with practices. And we heard the reasons yesterday in the seminar last evening, talking about overtraining and probably putting our athletes through some things that maybe are taxing, and by the end of the season, guys aren't very fresh. And ultimately, my high school coach was a pretty wise man. Didn't know a lot about wrestling, but he said, he always talked about they remember you how you finish. They don't remember how you did in a duel back in December sometime, but they remember how you finished at the state championships and so on. So that's kind of like how I approach things. I want to be able to finish strong. I want to be able to build my practices within that periodization schedule. Tell me if this isn't a challenge for you guys too, though. I was talking to some coaches this morning. Tell me this is not a challenge for us. If we were coaching in a perfect world where we had athletes that's all that they did, they were elite level athletes, the weight training, the periodization on the mat, everything would be just so smooth, you know, you could chart it all out. But if you're like me, you've got a group of kids that show up in your high school room that have never wrestled before. Freshmen, walking in, never wrestled before. Then we've got a group of kids that are returning state placers, returning state champs. We've got guys that are coming in from football 2 weeks late from their high school season playing football. And we've got to build practices and talk about periodization and all these things and try to put it all together and make that magic formula work. Has anybody else experienced that concern? Okay? So with that said, I have a philosophy of when I build my practices, I want to create layers so that the kids that are somewhat challenged in just being able to do a basic stand-up or to hit a single leg, there's a place for them to have some level of success and learn. And then there's a place for those guys that are maybe middle of the road, that have been with me maybe a year or two, but not really year-round wrestlers. They've got a place where they can succeed. And then I've got my elite athletes. I want to make sure that they have a place where they can succeed and build what they have. Otherwise, they're going to be bored. They're going to come into that practice when we're working on very remedial skills and we're trying to fix all these problems, and I'm spending all this time down here with these kids. What are we going to do at the middle of the road in this higher level group over here? So practice construction is really critical in my estimation. I think that's so important, how you build your practice to tailor-make it for all of those guys to have some degrees of success. And when I talk about layers, we're going to get into that in a little bit. It'll take me a second to get there, but we'll eventually get to that point. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Also, I had a chance to go up and work with Brahman's kids last week up at his place. It was amazing. His kids, he had them work out on a Friday night for 3 hours, right, Brahman? They worked out for 3 hours. They came back Saturday morning, and I had them for 3 hours for that session in the morning. We took an hour lunch break, came back for another 3 hours, and then they went home, we came back next morning on Sunday and went for another 3 hours. And that sounds kind of ludicrous, you know, that's like, wow, that's like too much wrestling maybe, but these kids handled it incredibly well, and it was all because I think, you can ask Brahman, I haven't talked to him a lot about that, but I think a lot of it was because his kids that didn't have much ability or lower level abilities, they were able to find some success in what we were doing, and the higher level kids were also able to find some success in what we were doing because they could branch off and do some more stuff. But we've got to put them in those positions and able for them to do it. So that's where I'm going to go with this today. The first thing that I would like to kind of talk about is, like, there's two basic positions in my mind when I'm coaching kids on their feet, okay? One is a contact position, and then there's a non-contact position. You know, when you saw with Brahman was able to kind of mix some of that, but I think if he had his preference, he'd probably work in non-contact most of the time. You know, he's able to stand out here and strike. He's got those fast feet that he's been trained over the years to do, so he's able to handle that. But then there's also those bigger guys in the room where the preferred mode of attack for me would be like an underhook, a 2-on-1, or some phase like that, where they can still do some of the techniques on the singles and doubles, and we got to get into those positions. So we've got non-contact, we've got contact position. So we're going to do this. I'm going to identify my non-contact position first. Okay? In non-contact position, I see really four actions on the feet. And if they're efficient in these 4 actions, they're probably going to be able to move and at least keep themselves out of trouble, but maybe score some offensive attacks from there too. And that's important. So what I'm going to tell my kids when we first come in, we're going to hit some fakes, okay? Like Brahma, if you notice, he has a real strong step, okay? But the other part of that is when I step, I also take my feet, because I want to be able to sell that. So that's one action. It's a hard fake. Moving around, hard fake. Hard fake. My hands and my step work together. So I have a philosophy too, if I move my hands, I move my feet. If I move my hands, now sometimes it's like, well, which hand, which foot? Well, I'll figure that out, but just know that every time I move my hands, I want to move my feet so that I get a real buy-in on my fakes, all right? So that's one action. Another action is an actual shot, okay? It's an actual shot. So, boom, boom. I've got to be able to sell it to where it looks exactly like my fake. If my fake doesn't look like my shot, my fakes are worthless, okay? If I do something different, I'm not selling anything. So my shots have to look like my fakes have to look like my shots. So fake, shot, same thing, same action. Hands and feet both working, they look identical. Fake, shot, back up. Okay, so now we've got 2 actions. Non-contact position. Third action, keep it simple, down block, okay? We've had a lot of guys already talk about that, getting my hands down to the mat and circling, okay? Down block. That's my third action. Down block and spin. It's going to be able to set up reshots. It's going to set up my go-behinds. Very simple movement, okay? Hands drop, circle. My 4th action is a hard sprawl, okay? He gets under my chin, and that's kind of my rule. If he's under my chin, the down blocks are trouble, okay? I may not be able to, he may blow right through my hands, so I've got to be able to sometimes, he beats contact up here, gets to my lower levels of defense, and level 4, which is my hips, okay? Gets to my legs, I got to get down here. Okay, I got to get down here, just like Brahman said, I've got a string pulling my hips to the mat. Problem with most guys is they can get here, but then they start circling and they do this. They mix up those 2 actions. They mix up a down block and a spin and a hard sprawl. Those are not the same. Okay? Down block and spin, I circle, go behind. Okay? On my hard sprawl, it's more hips are in hard right there. So literally, Robin, I know you got your shoes undone and all that. Paybacks are hell. Get in here. So in other words, like if I down blocked and spin, if he was coming, boom, I got my hands down. He didn't get to my legs. There's my spins. Spin action. Chest is in. Okay. Here. Okay. And I don't have to be very fast. I just got to have some anticipation. Hands drop and I'm moving my feet there. Okay. However, let's say Brahman gets to a leg. Okay. Hips are in now. I'm strong in here. Now I'm going to keep weight in here. It's strong in here. Okay? Completely different action. Okay? So what I want to do is let's get up to our feet, guys, real quick. And I want you to do me a favor. We're going to mimic these. Okay? We're going to mimic these behaviors, these actions, as I call them. First action is I'm just going to throw a bunch of fakes in. Okay? We're just going to throw fakes in. So I'm here, good stance, right leg or left leg maybe, whatever you got. And on this, while you're doing it, try to think about if I take a step, I'm also throwing my hands. I don't have to reach, but I'm letting, he's visual, he's seeing this action. Okay, just right there. And one of the things you have to remember is, it's a hard lesson for kids to get, they'll do this, and then they'll come up. Okay? I want to get this action here where I'm back to position. Brahma does that so well naturally, right? Okay, so it's like heart fake, movement, heart fake, movement, heart fake, movement. And I never want to leave that fake leg out there and present this, especially in letting get me on a re-attack here. Okay? So just heart fakes for right now. You know, maybe 45 seconds, kind of get the feel, mix in what Brahman was doing, you know, feet movement, okay, sell those fakes. Throw those hands at least 6 inches out. So maybe I should have said this, but when I do come out of my attack, boom, I've got to be ready to drop just in case. Okay, like a lot of times guys will shoot off of that, especially if you're in a higher level skill with better kids. So when I fake, my hands are down. And plus, if I get my fake and it works like I want it to, I sell my fake, my hands drop. I don't want them up here so I can re-attack into my shots. Alright, so now what I want to do, I want to throw in my shots. So let's go ahead and maybe hit a couple hard fakes, and then throw in my shots. Okay? Hand move, try to duplicate that again. Boom. Okay? Let's try that on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, so let's add that in there real quick. Let's just do no shots. Just get my hands drop to the mat, and I'm doing my full down block circle here. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Same type of motion here. Right here. Very good, very good. Time. Okay. Now, it's almost, you'll see the problems as you probably, some of us, we're coaches, so we're ahead of the game most of the time on this stuff. But now instead, I'm going to pretend and I tell our kids, I want them to visualize. Your opponent got under your chin and they got to your legs. So it's here, he gets to my legs, I got to get my legs down and back. Okay, hands go to the mat, and now I'm like a seal in here with pressure. Learning to keep my hips into it the whole time. Okay, so I want to try to also, when I circle, if I'm here with my opponent, I want to at least get a 180 so I'm behind him. Right here. So that when I hit that position, like in a match or practice, I'm literally driving so hard the guy's hands are like this on the mat. He couldn't get his hands up because I got so much weight and pressure into him. Can't get his hands up. Okay, let's hit that real quick. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Go. Ready? Hustle. Now try not to mix this in with your down lock. Don't rush it. Do not bring your hips up. Time. All right. Coach, what's your name? Jeff, come here. Jeff's going to be my model, man. Jeff will press me, okay? And here's what we do. This is a practice now. We just gave guys that they don't know any wrestling. They walked into our room. They've already seen a little bit of success with something. They can all do this, most of them, after maybe a couple of days. We're going to perfect that, build that into our reshots, create those layers that we talked about. We'll get to some of those here in a minute. Coach, I'm going to shout some stuff out, okay? And you just follow my lead, all right? Ready? Stance, motion, fake, 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 shot, 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 down block circle, shot, shot, down block, circle, shot, sprawl, sprawl, time. Okay. That's high level right there. That was good. Now, coach is thinking, if he's a higher level kid, he's thinking when I drop and circle, I'm already keeping my legs bent underneath me enough that I'm set to fire right back into it. So I could go build the layer a little bit with this one. I could go, I'll go down block circle and you're already firing the shots out there, right, coach? You don't wait for me. Ready? Wrestle. Down block. Down block. Down block. Get your shots. Get your shots right through. Okay? One more. Down block. Good. Okay? And again, kind of building this into it. Some of the first couple days, they're not going to be able to do that. But if you kind of layer it in, they can. And so now they're thinking about some of the stuff Robin's talking about. Chest up, head up, in here. Okay? Hips underneath, rock or step, whatever the penetration that you're using, trail leg up. Okay? And it's a teachable moment. Kids aren't doing it exactly right, and you want to see guys cut people off. Here, you want this trail leg up. Identifying a head outside single or double leg to me, there's like 2 penetrations completely with trail leg 1, trail leg 2. Trail leg 1, where do most kids fall short? Right here. Okay, it's this one. They think, Coach, I did penetrate. I'm here. Okay, that's not good enough. Second penetration step. Here, boom, here. Okay, so in this drill, you might build this in. Trail leg up. Okay, I was working with a little girl in our room the other day, Emily Webster. She's four-time national champ from Oklahoma, Missouri girl, great girl. She's small for the weight class, but she was doing this. She'd get in, step, and come straight up in here. Like Brahman says, I don't want to carry that weight. I'm going to break that weight. Right here, trail leg up. So I have her pointing this toe. Fine technique right here, little stuff, boom, toe comes in. Rather than leaving that toe out here, I'm going to lift. That's not the angle I want, okay? So coach was doing it naturally. Trail leg up, step across. Trail leg up, step across. Let's do that real quick. Fix that one thing. Take it to a higher level. 30 seconds real quick. We're not going to go long here because we got too much to get to. Ready? On 3, 3, 2, 1. Bring that trail leg up. 2 trail legs working. 2 trail legs working. We got 2 trail legs. Excellent job, guys. And again, like I said, you're just kind of building these things. Remember, what's my general category right here? What are we talking about? What is this? What are we doing with these 4 positions? Non-contact, right? Non-contact. We'll get into a little bit of contact in a minute. Okay, layering and sequencing. All right. That might be part of my warm-up. That might even be some conditioning at the end of practice. You know, you can keep that chain going. Keep it hotter, you can just let them recover a little bit, stance in motion, let them recover, more fakes, but then you start throwing in those shots, those down blocks, it's like, man, 2 minutes of that, it's hell, it's tough. But, I mean, what more efficient way to train your athletes than teaching them to move like that, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is sequencing, okay? And Coach gave me the opportunity, because like I said, most of you guys are probably folk style, and I'll show you how to convert it into freestyle here in a second. Kids are bright. They're going to figure things out. Brahman's perfect for me here. Okay. Here's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to start Brahman down. Okay. I'm going to start Brahman down. Just to teach a breakdown or a stand up and break it all up and all these fine points. Again, for that kid that's been with you for 3 years, that's going to be like torture for him, right? Because he didn't want to hear that again. So it doesn't hurt to re-emphasize points, but to go back and re-teach all that. That kid's going, God, coach, when are we going to move on? We got to learn some stuff. I've done that 1,000 times, okay? But here's what we're going to do, okay? We're not only going to have a stand-up, but we're going to do some other things with it. I'll go down, Rob. How's that? Okay, I'm down, okay? And you don't even have to tell them how to stand up. Just, we'll build that in. I call it an ankle throw or pinch my ankles. And that's kind of what we have Brahman's kids doing. So I'm down, and I just teach my kids a stand up. Throw my ankles out, pressure back. And this guy's going to work with me. Okay? Here's my stand up. Force hands down over the hip. Okay? Force hands down over the hip. And immediately look for this inside wrist. Look for this wrist. And then, right here. Okay? So I'm clearing, I'm out, boom. I'm in on a single. Okay? I'm in on a single. Teaching this. Now, some of your kids in your room already know how to finish. Okay, they got good finishes. Okay, they'll finish this shot. Okay, however they do it. Okay, but they're gonna finish it up, right? So let's take Brahman to the mat here. Okay, now Brahman gets to do the same thing. Brahman's up. He gets to drag right to a single, or you saw where he went. He just did like a go behind right there. Okay, I go down, pitch ankles, and I'm up, inside wrist, drag. Whoa, that wasn't a real good drag, son. Your head was like down right here. I want my head to target right here. Step, single. Well, that's it. Oh, now we got a problem. I gotta fix that. I don't like him on the inside, so I've got to get off of this. Okay. Jam. Get him to step, get it up where I'm comfortable, okay? So you teach, now, kids start figuring it out. I take a guy down to the mat, let's say I've left the Brahman here, he stays down, he doesn't come up. Son, the drill's still going, okay? Rather than say, you gotta get up from How many guys get broken down, they never get up, so the drill's still going. Okay, so he's up. Okay, now stop. Here's what we had. Eventually, we build on this, okay? So now he gets up easy. One lift, and a return. He comes up again. Instead of lifting and returning, he stretches my hands out. Across the hip, I run front, got my double leg. Okay? Now, how many layers do you want to go? Okay? How many layers do you want to go? When you first start out, maybe it's nothing more than a guy getting up, throwing ankles, coming up, attack his wrist into a drag. Right here. Okay? That's all I'm going to do. But I would rather, if I can, keep that chain going. Conditioning, positioning, the whole thing. You guys would be shocked. And I don't know all of his kids, but every kid in his room, when we were doing it with those guys, were able to be successful at this within a couple hours, right? Okay, what I want you guys to do is have one guy start down, okay? All you're gonna do is pitch ankles. Right here, just throw ankles. Even if you've got a good inside leg stand up, whatever you teach is probably fine, but if you are working with kids and it's the first time in the room with them, just have them throw ankles and push, lean into them. Okay, right here. Roman cuts, guy takes this, go to your seam. Right here. Okay? Get it? And then this guy does the same. Okay? Let's go try it. On three, 1, 2, 3. One guy starts down. One guy starts up. Don't feel like you gotta go fast. You don't have to go fast.
The guy that weighs 140. Not the guy that's 240.
Exactly how I want to see it. When we drag, I want to attack it. The way I'm attacking is thumb down, and I move hands and feet together, step to the leg. Right here, okay? That's all we're going to do. So here, boom, right there. So attack wrist, here. Oh, so we don't have to teach the drag first? No, okay? We don't have to teach the drag first. You guys, some of you were like, higher level, maybe you've been here, maybe more frequently are on the mat with your kids. Some of you guys are doing that like you're getting up, doing it just right. Hey, here, just like this. Looks like pros at. But then there were some that were kind of struggling a little bit. So we're going to fix that right now. I'm going to let those other guys continue to work. We're going to fix some of these others to where when they get up, it looks more like this. And we're actually doing it the right way. Okay? Are you guys following me at all? Are you following the logic what I'm going with here? Okay. Now, let's on this next one, let's go ahead and see if we can advance that to a lift and return. Okay? What we had Brahman's kids doing for a long time, lift and return, lift and return. Then the third one, after they got up, Brahman starts posting hands across. I'm about ready to lose him. Wherever those hands go, the opposite side, I'm going to circle out and double leg. Now let me tell you something. Here's where it gets really weird. This is a little deep maybe, but I'll tell you what. I never had a double leg from out here. Never had a double leg from out here. Ever, ever, ever. I can't remember in my lifetime hitting a double leg from out here. Because there's too much interference. There's his head. There's his hands. There's his arms. And for me to get through all that traffic, it's hell. However, the first time that I ever did this here, drug, and he pulled that leg back, whoa! Double leg! Either side, okay? Either side. Also, the first time that I ever had a guy shoot my hands across, and it was desperation, my hands are going across, and I just changed levels and circle out front. Holy crap! Double leg! Double leg! I never hit a double leg. But now, it's because it's in transition. It's in transition. It's a lot different. Now, maybe he's felt that success of what that position was about, maybe 30 times. Now he comes out and he knows what it feels like. I know what a double leg's supposed to feel like. Okay? You might be able to get him to hit it out here. Okay. Is any of this going in? Totally confusing you, right? All right. I want you to do this. How many of you really haven't hit double legs in a long time? Raise your hand. Be honest. You don't hit a lot of double legs. I want you with your partner, when he posts out, I want you to run front. Just run front. Now you got to know which side to run, right? If I'm on this side, you post my hands across. Here, just circle, change levels and circle. Elbows deep, head in position here. Okay? If you post me the other way, post me over here, circle out front, and just be slow with it for a minute until you get this beautiful double leg feel. Elbows deep, head up. It's like, man, I do have a double leg, coach. All right, let's give that a try. Now, yeah, let's just say, you could build in your drill 1 or 2 lifts. We're gonna speed past that, okay? So when he posts my hand, just think, what's the first thing that I have to do? Change levels. Remember Brahman's footwork? Remember Brahman's footwork? There's all circular motion. See, I did pay attention. I did. Hey. Okay. Are you with me on this one? Yes. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep. There's not very many guys that switch to 1 to 2. Save it for circling out front. Just circle. Yeah, I just don't. Yeah. He's using his hips against me. Right. Okay, so push him out. Now I'm going to use him against him. So it's just yeah, I'm not going to circle the line. Nice job. Only if I got my hands. And you guys probably experienced the same thing. We have a guy that I coached he was out of Iowa when I was coaching in Central Missouri. Used to tell kids, I always wanted them to fight inside. I loved the inside position. Felt very comfortable for me, right? But, Robin, he was one of these guys that he was really good at. As soon as you get inside position, he would take elbows and shoot off your elbows. Okay? And he was really good at it. He was a two-time national champion, Mark Barad. And so I was like really headstrong. I'm like, you are going to learn how to do this fighting inside, and you're going to work off of this. And he goes, Coach, I'll beat it every time. I'll beat it every time. So in practice, guys would get in, and they'd work for inside position, and he'd pull off elbows like this, high crotches, ducks, you name it. And it's like, why am I fighting that? As a coach, he's good at it. He's not getting beat with it. It's not bad technique. He's taking something away. Another example, a kid named Louis Caputo wrestled for me. Two-time NCAA All-American at Harvard. Okay, Harvard of all places. Bright kid. Okay, we're doing drills like this. Okay, we're putting guys underneath here, and we're chasing guys. They bring their butt up, and I'm chasing down double legs from here. Okay, well, Louis had a hard time with that. Louis would put a guy down, like he'd start circling, and then he would turn it into a single leg. It's like, Louis, come on, you can get there. Get that shoulder in. And he said one word. Why? I can get a single leg every time. I can get a single leg. So, yeah, we're having some questions about some of this. Like, Coach, what if I get up and I'm here and I'm already inside right here? Should I pass that up? If I'm a head outside single guy? Boom. No way. And actually, it was kind of funny. Brahman's kid, and again, I'm really complimenting him and what he's taught his kids to be open-minded and stuff. Kid comes up, comes inside, instead of driving here to a single, comes inside, carries it. Would you say that's first layer? No. Easy layers here. We'll go another layer. Had another kid in his room, did this. Right here. Beautiful. Picture book. I didn't teach him that. He just saw it. As he came out, here, looking to attack. Why do you suppose I went here? Why would I come out and not do what most kids do? I got my one, Coach. I'm excited, right? I'm excited. Yeah, I'm constantly thinking, this is the best time to score, right after I score. Right here. Right now. He's thinking, I call it the oh shit syndrome. He's saying, oh shit, and I'm right back on it. Okay? So that's the idea here. So I'm building this idea in here. Right back at it. Okay? Just discipline. So I'm already giving them one tool. Well, what if they get up and they get one of my big guys, got a big heavyweight. He gets out, he goes here, and then goes underhook. Is that bad? Hell no. But I'm not teaching necessarily just to stand up. I'm not teaching a single leg. I'm not teaching a front headlock. I'm kind of like, here's the big picture. And we'll refine it as we go. Okay? Now, what if, and I don't know how much time I have, but what if we get into like freestyle? We want to do some freestyle. We have a lot of goes in our practice room. We call them easy in, hard out. Easy in, hard out. So it would be like, it starts here. Maybe it starts here. Hey, I'll get to the freestyle thing in a minute, but let's say I keep my sequence, ankles pitched, I'm coming up. I drag, gotta take him down, and now I fly. As soon as he goes to the mat, I slide. And I'm trying to turn to him, and he's getting up. Okay? So it's like, that's where the rubber meets the road. Now they get a feel, okay? They've gone through the kind of like, what I would call from shadow wrestling, you know, this stuff on their own, through skills and drills, and now we're actually going through some sparring. That's like another layer, right? So it's live as soon as we hit the mat. Or we have, maybe you tell them what position you want to see, like, okay, I take him down, and I actually get a cross wrist. Okay? And then it's live. And then it's live. So it actually simulates everything else that we've been doing. This guy's still thinking, I gotta get up, I've gotta get my knees under me, I've gotta get in. Okay, well wait a minute, son. Time out. 80% of our room right now. When you're coming up, and I noticed this with Brahman's kids, they were coming up, guy had a wrist, his cross wrist, and they were like still trying to come up. It's like teachable moment, coaches. Shoot it across, dig in. Okay? Shoot it across, so we drill that for maybe 10 minutes. Okay, gets my wrist, boom, elbow in. Okay, what if he pull me back and gets my wrist, elbow in, shoot it across. He wants to take it across, make it deeper, cut it out. Okay, if I try to get my elbow in here, anybody ever have that problem? Trying to get your elbow in here, shear that out, shoot it deeper, shoot it deeper. Okay, what if I'm in a tripod and I almost get up and he gets my wrist? And oh gosh, I don't want to get the elbow in. If I reach back to grab fingers, he's going to take me boom. Okay? So as soon as I can do it from here, even if I'm dead flat on the mat, even if I got my hips up, I'm in trouble. So I've got to shoot this across, elbow in, clear that. Use my head as a post. Build position. Again, teachable moments. All right? I don't want us to go live. Okay? Obviously, in a clinic like this, that's not the case. But here's what we could do. We could go through the drill and then go 3/4 spar. Okay, so when you get down, top guy, make it a little bit tougher for him to get up the next time. Okay, now I said I would convert it with, how much time do we have?
About 20 minutes.
Okay, let's just go do that, and then I'll bring it back and talk how to convert that mentality over to freestyle practice. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Bottom guy, you gotta work hard this time, because it's like simulating, you really gotta get out now. Okay? Just re-attack. I'm like, almost in the one. a chain. Okay, here's the key. And I was talking to a couple coaches, maybe it was Brahman earlier, but how long do I go in a chain? That's not what's important. You know what's important? How long you rest between your chains. And that's where the teachable times, that's why I can teach. Like they're tired, they just went through a chain. Okay guys, here's where we gotta fix this. Okay, we're not doing a very good job. Or I wanna add something. Coach was talking about this position here, that if I get a guy and I can't, he's like just, he's a Brahmin, he's a freaking horse, you know, he's strong. So I can't get here, I can't get inside of him, I gotta break this lock. This is a teachable moment. Like, Coach, I can't break that damn thing. Okay, well try something, we're gonna try this. We're gonna put him up here and see if he likes that. And we'll just wrestle him up here and keep him up here. Okay? That's not real comfortable there. Have you ever been there, brother? Never. I've never been there. It's like outer space type thing, okay? He grabs me here, I say, boom. He comes in, boom, right here. You don't like that. You know what? There's reasons why it might not be a good place for you to be. Okay? But you know what? I'm not teaching that the first day. But as we go and I see those things develop, I'm going to get there, okay? Another chain, okay, here's an example. We just spent this time on down blocking and going behind, sprawling, this action here. So, we're out here, Brahman's all cute, dancing around out there with his fancy ass low single, and I'm out here like this, and so Brahman, he's gonna hit, and I'm gonna anticipate, okay, hit. Okay, right here. Now, a chain, in just a normal situation, I defended, right? I did my job. But, in my thought process is, he gives me that, boom, I'm gonna shoot right here. Okay, I'm gonna shoot out there. So I've gotta have my feet ready for that. Again, watch this sprawl. Okay? I'm thinking, lead leg, bent leg, straight leg. Okay, here he comes, he's faking, I'm here, and I'm gonna be ready to attack. So I don't even have to have a good attack. I may not even have a good attack, but I do this, boom. I may develop Brahman's low single, okay? Just because I caught him in that position and keeping the chain. So now Brahman, maybe I take Brahman down from there, okay? And he gets up, okay? Now, he goes the other way. He's out, I sell the fake, he hits his shot, I walk right into it. Okay? Keep that chain going. Keep that chain going. Okay? I have a simple go behind. I either snapped him or he shot. But I get a go behind. I'm right here. Okay? Once I'm behind, this is a bad position for this guy to sit there and think. He ought to have a reaction. As I got behind him, he's already up. Okay, right here. He's already up. So we go back. I could use it with fake shots. I could use it with snaps. Here, working here. We spend a lot of time with our kids in layering this position. Guys, here's a kind of a hagism. I believe in the 80-20 principle, right? 80-20. In business, you know that in business about 80% of your production is going to come from 20% of your staff, right? In wrestling, kind of make it into wrestling terms, there's a lot of analogies here too. In wrestling, of all the available positions that are out there, thousands of positions, only about 20% of them are going to be truly relevant to me because it's going to prove to be 80% of my scores. And if I learn these positions, core position, in here, front headlocks, cover down, I call this cover down position because I like having my hands free. I can get to a front headlock, I can pull, I can tug, okay? We have an entire series from here, okay? Because this is so important. Important for this guy to learn to wrestle here, important for me to wrestle here. So if I get in this cover down position, I know I've got to go behind, I can circle, okay? And that was a very, because I'm not going to get into all the fine points. I love doing this, breaking the guy's elbow, but you can play with that on your time. Okay? But I always tell our kids, we want to circle to the corner. Circle to the corner. I'm either going to get here, a go behind, or if Brahman comes out like he should, he's a good wrestler. Oh boy, Coach, I never had a double leg until today. Okay? I love this position. Put him here, coming down. He's wise. He's been coached well. He's not staying there. He brings his butt up. Put his butts up right there. Step out of the box. Chase down the leg. Chase down the leg. That is totally Larry. Okay? Because normally you might teach a snap down and a go behind. Now you teach a snap down, go behind, single leg, double leg. Even guys that can do this, they start coming up. I chase them down, slip shoulder, outside head single, trail leg up. The options are unlimited. Unlimited. Okay? Real quick. One of the drills we were doing at his place, fake a shot, sell a shot. Just like it's a boom. He drops his head a little bit. Hands go down. Put him underneath. Cheat in the corner. Stepping outside, brings his butt up. Double leg. Or head outside. Or single. You find your shot. You guys go do this. On 3. So what we're doing, fake a shot. Like, see why that's important? He's got to buy in. If he doesn't buy the fake, it's no good. Fake, head drops, snap, cover, heavy. He builds his hips, step outside, chase down the leg. Guys, go back and watch the World Championships. The last 3 or 4 years, World Championships, Olympics in 2012. Tell me how many times you see a guy run down the corner for a score. Run down the corner for a score. Hey, I'm telling you, it's through the roof. Through the roof. Chasing a leg after an action. Transition wrestling. Transition wrestling. Taking it from a shot, even his shot, or my snap, run in the corner. Okay? Let's go try that on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Hustle out, guys, you're running close. You got any else going on? Shift, I feel those hips coming up. Oh, there's that leg. There's that leg that I've been looking for. Okay? Let's head. Let's keep the chain alive. One full circle. You go. You take him down by running the corner to a shot. His hands go to the mat, hips come up, and then he's up. He's going to sell the fake, and he's on the head. And he gets it, okay? So go through it one full circle. On 3, 1, 2, 3. You're
So this is that
That one wasn't so bad.
I do that to Damien.
Forms to the back of the patch. You'll feel better tomorrow.
Yeah, we have to do that with Damien. He got Vegas, and his lower back is still messed up. I guess all his have to get back in place every day.
They say a lot of lower back stems from tighter hamstrings, so that might be something too to work on, flexibility for hamstrings and stretching.
I think it's just building the strength back up after that. You know, he got knocked in folk style. That's where kids pick him up for it because they decided to take weight classes away. And so he made weight, and then a wrestling kid was like 60 pounds bigger than him. And they kicked him up, like threw him up in the air. And the way that he ran, he twisted his hips out of place. And literally, the doctors red carded him. That's why he was training rep freestyle because they were not wrestling. And so the maximized living guy put his hip in place 7 times within 2 days. And it was like a 25-30 process for them to get it back in place. And now it takes us 30-40 seconds. And he said, you know, I can't even hear it popping in there that he can feel it back in place. And so it's getting better. Now it's just we're 6 months out from it. It's ridiculous the length of time it takes to rehab. And in my opinion, it's human history that never should happen. They shouldn't take your weight classes. There was absolutely no reason for it.
You've done some shadow wrestling. Maybe you've done a little bit of technique with gut work. But now when we go down, it is live, okay? So we start wrestling from here, okay? And again, how long you go and how much rest you have in between solely depends on where you're at in the season and what you want out of your practice. If you want a 2-hour, longer teaching type practice, then you go your shorter goes here, okay, and you have longer rest in between. So like you'll break it up to where these guys, you're talking to them, you're teaching them after they've gone through a couple of these. They're kind of recovering, but they're active, they're up doing stuff. Okay? I don't think wrestlers do very well sitting down. Okay? If you were in my room, I wouldn't let you guys sit down. Okay? I don't want to keep you in that long. Okay? For one, you come in on a knee or you're standing, and then when we're breaking out, we come back in for maybe a minute, listen, guys are here, they say, okay, I see that one little thing, we'll go back out and try that, and then they just kind of build it into what we're doing. And it could be something that demands a little bit more time, but you've got to be patient with those. And I think it's really important you've got to understand and define what those core positions are for your style of wrestling. What do you want? Okay? Whether you're a low single guy on your feet, or whether you're a head outside single, but I do like what Brahman said, you have to understand there's different penetration steps for different types of actions on your feet. Okay? One action like that Brahman's talking about is the rock over step, okay? And that's important. So you build that in your warm-ups. Okay? I don't think you need to spend hours and hours on that particular step. You build it into your warm-ups, and most of your kids that are worth their salt, they're going to be able to start doing that when you start putting them in these chains and then when you do your drills and everything else. Okay? So that's kind of like my philosophy on that. But, Coach, what time do we have? Are we okay?
Yeah, another 10, 15 minutes.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. Would like to try to create a couple more of these. Let's do this. I talked about it, but we didn't really get into it very much. This time, as soon as you get to the mat, I want you to capture a cross wrist. Okay? And I want this guy to have to understand a couple of things. One, if a guy captures this cross wrist, that if I get him broken to the mat, the fight's tougher. Okay? So as soon as this cross wrist is caught, this guy is going to bring this inside knee up. You're already feeling it, aren't you, Coach? You want that inside knee up to balance, so I can't do anything with it. Okay? If I'm allowed to block in here and take you across that wrist, okay, again, this is kind of like we would talk after a chain or two. He feels this, so he's got to beat this. He's either got to bring an inside knee, he's got to either stand it up, or if nothing else, he's here, bring it underneath so that there's some stability there. Okay? Most high school kids, some good kids, even college kids. I watch this when I'm officiating matches. I'm going, really, guys? What do you do in your room? I hate to be disrespectful to some coaches, but if a guy gets a cross wrist, you're going to tell me you're going to let him drive it forward where there's no post? So a teachable moment, just knee slide up, right there. So he's kind of now battling with elbow. Okay? I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of weird how kids don't. You think they know these things, but they really don't. They don't understand that. It's like another thing that kind of gets to me. I shouldn't be saying this probably, but we're all coaches, right? No officials in here, right? No officials. So, hey, you can edit that tape, right, Coach? You can edit.
I'm not sure that's possible.
What I'm going to say though is this. It's like I hear this. How many times have you? Maybe I hope I'm not stepping on any toes. Knee slide, knee slide, knee slide. Okay? Have you ever tried to knee slide sitting on your haunches? Okay? Like you're in your leg like this, or you're extended like this, you're like this. Anybody ever tried to knee slide here? What do you have to have to knee slide?
Elevation.
I've got to have hips up in order to get a knee under. Okay? But yet guys will be in these positions, you'll be this, and the coach is hollering, knee slide. How about get your butt up? Get your butt up. Anytime you're in on a single leg, okay? This is a pet peeve of mine. Guys get in on a single leg, and he's in here and he gets stretched. Go ahead and sprawl a little bit. Coach right there. Get stretched out, and they'll hang on to it, and they'll go down with the ship, right? Go down with the ship. When all they have to do, really, post up, go here. Knees back under. whole new game, whole new game, okay? Because that's something that we do every freaking day in practice, okay? We do those drills, but we tell them before you can knee slide, maybe you get jammed forward, butt comes up, knees come under. Get jammed, oh, right there, okay? Extend, butt comes up, knees come under. Every day in practice. Now if I say knee slide, I hope to God my kids are either in an elevated position or they recognize they've got to elevate their hips. Okay, if I'm in on a single, extended, hips up, knees come under. That's a knee slide. This is not a knee slide. That's not a knee slide. Okay, but that's what, when I'm reffing out there, sometimes I hear that, it's like, knee slide, knee slide. It's like the catch turn. Guy's on his back, getting pinned. Knee slide. I haven't figured that one out. Knee slide. Figure it out, guys. Okay? So let's go out and work on this guy getting taken down. Okay? And what we're going to do is cross wrist or no cross wrist. You're here. Here, boom. Let's bring this under. Okay? This is like almost like a stand-up in itself. You know what a stand-up really is? A stand-up. What is a stand-up? Tell me where I'm at in a stand-up position. Am I in a stand-up position here? No. When both knees are on the mat, it's not a stand-up, right? But even if I do this, I'm really in a stand-up. So the truth of the matter is, I've got to figure a way to get a knee off the mat. If you want out, you got to figure a way to get a knee off the mat. Whether it's a power stand-up, boom. Whether it's outside leg stand-up, whether it's swishing my ankles out, I've got to get a knee up off the mat. And man, even, okay, what's the definition of what do you guys call a quad pod or a tripod stand up? Knees off the mat. Tell me this position isn't, okay, you had your choices. Bad, little better, little better, little better, lot better, lot better, lot better. This is okay. This is better. Hey, I'm closer to home base. So we got to get a knee off the mat. In order to do that, most of the time, I've got to get a knee underneath me in order to get a knee up. I got to get a knee underneath me to get a knee up. Okay? Even here, I can't really tripod. But if I get my knees underneath me, now I can tripod. Okay? Again, more position and philosophy than anything right there. So when we go out, let's do a quick chain. You create your own chain this time. Have fun with this one. This is imaginary time, right? Go create your own chain. When the guy gets dumped to the mat, go belly down, get to your base, and drive your knees underneath him. See if you can't build that a little bit into your repertoire. So now every time I get taken down, if I do get extended, which is not the preferred position, if I lift and return, that's not preferred. But immediately, you gotta recognize this. Knees come under, knees slide up, right there. Bring that inside you. Don't sit on your hips. Just bring your knees up. Just be like this. Okay, I'm here, get jammed, right here. Okay? Let's do that. Bring me up, right there, knee under, knee, right there. That's the key. That's the support that allows me to come chest up high. Chest comes up high. Inside knee is the critical knee. This knee, yeah, it doesn't hurt to, bring it up, but I'm also inviting like cradles and stuff. If I learn to do this inside knee up, everything changes from bottom position for me. I was good at mat. I was good on top, I was good underneath. Okay? On my feet, I had to learn to be good. I had to work really, really hard up there. This kind of came natural to me. And when I see guys struggle, I don't really sometimes get it. But the key is, you get extended, inside knee under, straighten chest up. Okay, now I come up again, chain goes again. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Probably the last go here, guys. You're doing a great job. I'll see you with the question and answer for the last 1 minute. You can break it down and start your chain if you want. Break it down and the chain begins.
Yes, because college,
How do you implement kind of more of your top stuff into it? Let's say you have like a tilt series that you want to work in, and you obviously use the cross wrist. I think probably the majority of us at least have a cross wrist in your series of your attacks. But here's what I would say, like in your chains that you're developing your kids with, you've got, Coach, want to come out here real quick? I want you to give me a lift and a return, a lift and a return. On the second return, I want you to wrist capture, and I want you to go east and tilt, okay? And watch this, okay? Starts from the bottom. Here's a quick chain for you. He comes up, okay? Comes up again. Comes up again. Wrist capture. Guy comes up. There's my tilt, okay? And why would I put it there and not just do it in like a drill? Why would I put that there and not just drill? It's realistic, and you catch him coming up. The best time in the world to hit guys in scoring positions, regardless of whether it's up here or whether it's on the mat, is right after you get a reaction from them. And coach just lifted him, and this guy has hit that old shit syndrome, right? He got lifted and returned and lifted and returned, and it's almost like, damn it, I'm not even sure I want to be here, and then he's on his back. So that's what I'm trying to get at. You can put this in your bottom, you can put it in the top, you can put it on your feet, you can put it in defense. And again, here's the other part of this. My talk with you this afternoon in the classroom is going to be about becoming your own best coach, teaching your athletes to become their own best coach. I think it's a huge philosophy and sometimes a big paradigm shift for a lot of coaches. And here's what you're going to do. And when you teach like this, your kids are consequently going to be thinking. They're going to be creative. They're going to be able to do things on the mat. Some of this stuff you may not have seen before, and they're all of a sudden doing it. It's like, wow, let's all try that. Or you're doing something wrong and we can fix it. But at least in a drill, you can fix this. But how many guys have had kids in their room? Okay? How many coaches have had guys in their room that are great drill people and they can't wrestle? It's the most frustrating thing in the world that they can look so good in drills, but the problem is that they constantly have to have the perfect feel. They have to have the right feel, or else they don't shoot, or their shots are off target. And so that to me is a travesty. And I want to avoid that. I want to have guys that can wrestle and spar and do some things. And I think when Zeke Jones was out here, that's one thing to his credit that I think that he really began to implement is a lot more sparring in wrestling. If you watch other countries, when they drill, it's like drill to finish, to finish, to finish, to drill, to finish, to drill, and it just keeps going. Very rarely do they just go out and hit moves, unless it's almost like warm-up stuff. That's when they do some techniques and some drills and stuff like that. But when they're actually, their practices are oftentimes made up of a lot of sparring, a lot of position wrestling, getting in, like, Brahman single leg, exploring, cutting through left, cutting through right, all those kind of things. So that's kind of like the philosophy of what I wanted to give to you guys today, all right? If you guys have any questions or anything real quick before we break, before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Coach?
So one thing I'm worried about is having to roll fast is you're going to get bad habits. You'll try to correct it, but there's a bad habit, you just kind of work with that.
I'm good with working with any habits. I really am. And I don't think that if a kid's attempting something, it's better that they're trying it under a more realistic situation than just going through the motions with a partner that's letting them do it. I really struggle with that. And I'm the first to tell you that you have to have drills. You have to have drills. You can't coach wrestling and not have drills. But hell, they'll spend days and days and hours on drills. Guys can't go out and wrestle. You know, ultimately, it's whoever gets their hand raised because they scored more points than the other guy or they can. So you can teach. I think it's okay to have some bad habits. That's what practice is about. I have bad habits, you know, just try to refine those. So that's kind of how I see it. And I think that it makes your job a lot more fun as a coach. Because you get to actually see guys doing some things, and it's like, rather than just watching drills go by, and guys are drilling for the sake of drilling, I hate that. I don't think we get much out of it. Okay? Anybody else? Anything else? Coach, anything? All right? Yeah, thanks, fellas.